At the corner of the street, Jack spotted a sign plastered on a telephone pole. Bold white letters read, "Apartment for rent. Super cheap. Call now." Jack felt the lightness of his wallet as he stood there, pacing and debating with himself. After a few minutes, he finally shrugged, pulled out his phone, and dialed the number. When he met the landlord, Jack was relieved. The guy looked friendly, simple, nothing creepy. Jack asked a few questions, and when he heard the shockingly low rent, he was thrilled. But just as they were about to sign the lease, the landlord casually dropped, "Oh, by the way, someone did pass away in this apartment." Jack froze, looking around the place again. It was a cozy setup. One bedroom, a small living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. The sunlight poured in from the balcony, casting a warm glow. He could already picture himself relaxing out there with a cup of coffee, enjoying a peaceful morning. In the end, Jack shrugged it off and decided to take the place. A few nights after moving in, Jack was lying in bed on one of those quiet, clear nights. The moonlight spilled across the balcony, casting a weird, almost chilly glow. Suddenly, Jack started breathing heavily, his face flushed, his body drenched in sweat, like he was caught in some kind of nightmare he couldn't wake up from. He jolted awake, looked around the dark room, and felt a cold breeze drift over him. That's when he heard it. A soft shh, shh sound coming from the living room. A chill ran down his spine, and he couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't alone. Pushing down his fear, Jack crept out of bed and tiptoed to the living room door. He reached for the doorknob, and the moment his fingers touched it, an icy chill shot through him. The landlord's words echoed in his head. "Someone died here." He shivered but slowly turned the knob and flicked on the light. The room lit up, but it was still unsettlingly empty. Except the TV was on, playing nothing but static, filling the room with that eerie hiss. Jack racked his brain. He was sure he hadn't touched the TV. Just then, the screen flickered, and the landlord's face popped up on the screen, still wearing that same friendly smile. But this time, he was holding a bloody knife. His eyes were cold, his expression ruthless, staring down at a woman lying in a pool of blood at his feet. And then, suddenly the landlord's gaze shifted and locked right onto Jack. Jack was frozen, paralyzed with fear, watching as the landlord gripped the knife tighter and slowly started moving toward him. Jack was petrified. He couldn't move, couldn't scream. Just as the knife was about to strike, he let out a yell and shot up in bed, frantically touching his neck. He looked around. It was quiet. Just his room and just a nightmare. Or so he thought. Breathing heavily, Jack wiped the sweat from his forehead and decided to head to the bathroom. As he crossed through the living room, the TV flickered on again. Slowly, the landlord's face reappeared on the screen. Just then, Jack heard a key turn in the lock. The door creaked open, and there he was, the landlord, still smiling that friendly smile. Only this time, he was holding that same blood-stained knife.